Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do another sit down. It's been a while, but I kind of just do them when I have something that I want to talk about. Today we're going to talk about things that I have learned or noticed as a Christian content creator. Okay, now I'm like a micro, maybe even, I don't even know, but like under a micro. I am not like a huge content creator, influencer, not at all. When I say that because that is like what I strive to do. And I honestly prefer saying content creator rather than influencer, because I feel like if I say influencer, people automatically think that I'm just like the chick who gets free stuff and takes photos. And that's not true. I feel like to be a true influencer, you have to be influencing. And although I feel like I'm doing that, I still just like saying content creator right now, because I create content on my own. I buy things that I promote on my own, and I enjoy doing it, and I try to influence godly and Christian and positive things while I'm doing it. Like I have a blog and all that stuff. That's a Christian blog. So, I mean, I could be classified as an influencer or a Christian influencer, I guess. I don't know. I get mixed feelings about it. So anyways, I digress on that. I have already learned quite a few things that I have had to work through emotionally, mentally. Not all bad, like there's a lot of good things too that have happened, but I just thought it would be fun to sit down and share with you guys the things that I have learned so far at the level that I'm at. Okay, so we're gonna get a little juicy, at least I think. I don't really know. We're gonna find out. I wrote everything down in my book as usual, so before we get started, I'm gonna need to take some of that, because it's gonna get serious real quick. Okay, so the biggest thing that I have noticed and that I have personally had to deal with is the people that you think are gonna support you, the majority of them end up not supporting you. And this has been and I still honestly struggle and I wrestle with this. It is very hard when the people that you think are in your, I won't say inner circle, but just that know you and that say they support you and they care about you, a lot of them actually don't end up showing that. And so what I mean by that is, like, I exclude people like my inner circle, which for me is my family. And when I say my family, I literally just mean the two people that I live with, because I have other family, but even some of them, they don't publicly support me. Outside of that though, what I mean is people that say like, oh, it's great that you're doing that, like we need more people like that, and I support what you're doing, but they will not publicly support you. But if someone else that they know is starting something like a business or another social media account, like they'll publicly share them. They'll be like, hey, go check out my friend's thing. They're doing a great thing over here, blah, blah, blah. But they won't for me. That has been a really hard pill for me to swallow, because it really shows who supports you and who doesn't. Because it is hard enough trying to build something of your own in a world that is already so social media and influencers. Like, it's a heavily saturated place now. It's not like years back where people were starting it out and it was a lot easier to get your feet off the ground and like people didn't even know it was a job. Like now it's a thing and it's a lot harder as it is, but when you have people that you think are going to support you don't support you, it hurts. And so then you're like, okay, like you just don't know why. Number 2 kind of correlates with number 1. The tendency that when someone has discontentment in their life, they try to take it out on you. So what I mean by that is I've had people that they make their life look picture perfect, but they treat me very differently than they treat everybody else. And I think sometimes what happens with some people is deep down they're jealous, they're insecure about something, and you might have that something. And there are things that I don't have that other people have. So by all means, I am not like, I don't have it all together, but I think some people, they think that I have it all together, even though I don't. And so then they just categorize me as this girl that they're jealous of because they're discontent in their life. So then they take it out on me, and then they try to find little avenues that they can be unsupportive in, and they can point out and make me then feel bad. And it's sad. It's sad. People will do that. And I think that's when you have to be like really secure in who you are and what you're doing. And that's really been a challenge for me as well, because it hurts and it's hard, especially if they're, again, it's not a total stranger, someone who proclaims to be a friend or that cares about you. And it's hard because then I have to sit back and say, okay, you know what? It hurts and it's mean, but you didn't start this for the people that don't want to listen. You didn't start doing this for the people that don't care or the people that don't want to support you. You started it because you felt that there was a purpose and that God has a bigger picture, and that he wants to use you as a voice and as a light to women and young girls that do actually want to listen. So you have to like learn to put blinders on, not blinders, like what are those things that horses wear on racetracks when they race? Like, just, I think blinders. Like, you just have to keep your eyes focused on the goal. Like, not looking around and going, okay, who's going to pay attention? I hope so-and-so notices me now, because if they do, then, like, maybe I'll be more important to them. Who cares? Like, who cares if you're more important to them or not? If they don't want to care about you, then don't care. And it's so hard. Trust me, because I deal with it. Number 3 is those who support you are the quickest to judge you. And what I mean by that is, again, I exclude those who actually genuinely care about me. I'm talking about the people on social media that don't know you, but they support you. And so I'm talking about when you gain a following, and this isn't everybody either, so you have those followers and those supporters that are like solid, but you have the few that will support you because they like things that you do. They like, for example, I'm a Christian content creator, okay? So I like to make Christian things, and I'll have people that will start following me and loving all my videos, and then all of a sudden I'll make a video and do something that they personally don't agree with. Like, for example, okay, if I put a video up talking about a mermaid or fairies or whatever, I will literally get bombarded with comments of like, as a Christian, you need to stay away from those kind of things, or, you know, Christianity isn't, you know, a choice, it's a lifestyle. Like, all of these things, and then they, you know, well, everybody sins. Everyone has shortcomings. She just slipped up. And I'm like, what? When someone who declares to have the love of Christ in their heart want to judge you immediately. And the worst part is they don't know me. Like, just because you see somebody on social media and you see videos, that is not their life. And newsflash, those people have feelings too. Like, I have feelings, and I was having actually a very bad day when I got all those messages. So I was like, I was ready to go to war. I'm not even kidding you. It was bad. I had like, and I'm not expecting them to know what I'm going through, because you can't. And I'm all for freedom of speech, but we also have to be mindful that just because you have the freedom to say something doesn't mean you should say it. And again, I do not mean everybody does this. Not all Christians do this, because again, I'm a Christian. I don't do that. I'm just saying that it's funny to me that people want to quote scripture. They want to say this, 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 that. And then they want to tell me right off the bat that I'm a sinner because I use the word mermaid or fairy. And because it's like, oh, that's a demonic thing. It's like, y'all, I'm just talking about like Disney. Like, I grew up in love with Disney princesses. I still am like a little girl about them. The Little Mermaid. I'm you know, so I'm like, that's all I mean. If it offends you, then just move on. Don't call me a sinner, though, because that's not a sin. You know? So, it's like really funny to me that people do that, and it's what it is. I'm just saying, like, these are things that you have to deal with that you don't think you're gonna have to deal with, but you gotta deal with it. And the last thing that I have learned recently is stay out of the comments. Okay? I'm not talking about when the people say nice things to you and, you know, you want to let them know that, like, you appreciate their support. Like, I'm not talking about that. I am talking about when you're dealing with people who are judgmental and they make accusations on you. I learned this the hard way. Not really, like, not anything that bad happened. I just learned it through experience. Just stay out of the comments. Because a lot of times you're going to have that urge and that desire to headbutt them and to go back at them. Or even if you're trying to do it nicely and you're just trying to say, you know what, I don't appreciate, they're still going to attack. Because, newsflash, or I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The people who say those kind of things, they're not saying it because they want to have a discussion, because they want to have a mature conversation. They're doing it because they just want to be trolls, honestly. So I have learned to just ignore them, let them say what they want to say. If people agree with it, they can agree with it, and just hone in on those that support you and that encourage you. And if someone has a question, like, that's fine. But if someone's just like, you know, I don't think as a Christian you should do this, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Because honestly, what do they know? Like, what do they know? Because I guarantee that anybody who says that to me, if I was to watch their lifestyle and watch what they do, I could probably find something that I think a Christian shouldn't do. But I'm not going to do that because, like, we as Christians, we already deal with enough. We should be encouraging each other and lifting each other up and helping each other grow, but not over social media where all eyes can see, and then again, you don't even know me. So I'm not going to receive your loving correction that way. Like, that's not how I like it. So I just stay out of comments. There was one day where someone said, and I was ready to go. I was fired up. I was aggravated about some other things. And I was like, you know, it's not right for you to judge me, blah, blah, blah. And it's not very kind to judge someone because I could judge you. And they were like, well, people already judge me and I don't let it affect me. And I'm like, so I guess you have a license to judge now? Is that how it works? If it doesn't judge you, like if it doesn't affect you, then it's not supposed to affect me. And I'm like, of course it affects you. It's probably why you're doing what you're doing, because everyone judges you. So you're like, you know what? I gotta judge someone else. I don't know. It's just so funny to me. So, I don't know, but those are just like recent things that I have learned over the course of, I don't know, maybe half a year that I've really been growing, and it's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of positives, but those are just a few things that I have experienced, that I've learned, that I've had to kind of like tell myself, don't do this, don't do that, like for your sake. It's not really about them, it's just your sake. And before I end this video, because I don't want it to end like on a negative note, I'm truly thankful for those who have been supporting me. Even if I don't know you personally, just the fact that, you know, you support me, you say kind things, and even if there is something that you don't necessarily agree with that I do, like, that's okay. I'm fine with that. I don't expect those who follow me to agree with every little thing that I do. I appreciate, though, that you take the time to point out the positive things that you do like that I do, because it really helps me. I do deal with things on a personal life and then on a media side of life. And so having to balance the two of them and not let my personal life and the things that I deal with there and the people that have hurt me and just beat me down, and then people on media who think they know me, they don't know me, and then they try and beat me down. Like, it's just, it can get to be a lot. So thank you to those who are kind and supportive. I I'm a person, so, you know, I have a heart, I have feelings, I cry, I get angry. So yeah, if you're thinking about being someone who wants to be a content creator or an influencer, I'm like, just be aware that there are going to be people that are going to try and be against you, but it's okay, because there are people that are for you, and most importantly, God is for you, and we know what the Bible says. If he is for you, then who can be against you? So you just wear that proudly. Don't be ashamed of it. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I will see you in my next one, and remember to be you. Bye.